Entitlements. You hear the word entitlements used all the time related to real estate development. And, what are entitlements? I try to, when I can, I mean, it's a very common word used in the industry, so I sometimes use it so that people understand what I'm saying. But entitlements is not a great word to use in your contracts, and here's why. Because entitlements just refers to approvals for a real estate development project, but but that doesn't specify the specific type of approvals, right? It's just a broad term that relates to getting governmental approvals for a development project. And so, but here's the problem. You use the word entitlements. Well, a lot of times within a project, there might be preliminary plat approval, or there might be land use approval, right? Or there might be construction drawing approval, or engineering approval. There's all these different types of approvals, and different jurisdictions work different ways. So we try to use, for example, the word land use approval. And so land use approval is the same thing as preliminary plat approval when it comes to single family residential. Land use approval is also the same thing as a design review approval when it comes to projects where you're not platting it, right? So the horizontal construction, the infrastructure, and the vertical construction, building the structure, are all wrapped up in one approval. And so what happens is you first go through what's called a design review approval, where they approve the design and the elevations, the concepts of the structure. So like say in multifamily, design review approval would be the same type of approval or the same stage of approval as preliminary plat approval is related to single family residential. And then both of those types of projects, whether it's a preliminary plat approval or a design review approval, both of those projects then have to go through another step of approvals, which is their construction drawing approvals, right? Which could include civil engineering for, say, single family residential, which is mainly what we do, or with, say, an apartment complex, it would include your civil engineering, and it would also include your structural engineering, right, for the actual structure. So, you just hear these words being thrown out all the time: design review approval, land use approval, preliminary plat approval, and entitlements. And entitlements is the one terminology that I just stated that is just a broad blanket statement, but it's not referring to any specific approval. And that's why entitlements is a very hard word, and I would suggest you not use it contractually, because when you say, oh, I'll close after entitlements, well, what does that mean, right? Does that mean you're going to close after preliminary plat approval, right? Or with a multifamily project after design review approval? Or does that mean you're going to close after the next phase, which is construction drawing approval, right? Which could include your civil engineering, and with a multifamily project, include your civil engineering and your structural engineering. So just be careful on using the word entitlements, because it's just at the end of the day, it's broad and it's vague. So anyways, hope that's helpful. And, post, if you got questions related to that, post them in the comments below, and we'll do our best to respond to those comments. But just, learning the industry terminology definitely can be sometimes challenging. So, all right.